And G. G is all about getting to know the person and her needs. It's about starting the conversation. It may be with someone you've known for a long time or someone that you just met in a chance encounter with a complete stranger. Once you get talking, you will have to dig deeper to uncover her needs and wants. It's really important to understand what she wants and needs so that you can help her see how Avon can fit that and possibly be a solution for her later on. So how are we going to do that? There are opportunities that cross our paths every day to start conversations with people we do not know. We call these chance encounters. I know that you all do these every day. So let's hear from a few of you. When and where was your last chance encounter? Anybody can share with us tonight? Oh, I hear somebody.
Yes, I guess I can. It's Carol.
Hi.
I went to the AT&T store yesterday. I had to have them check on my phone, and so I had to spend quite a bit of time with this young gentleman sitting there while he was trying to work on my phone. I noticed somebody come in. I didn't notice them when they come in, but I noticed one of the workers, a girl, walk up to her, and it looked like the lady handed her two things, like two bottles of something, you know. Like I said, it wasn't even on my mind at that point, but I noticed it. But then then she took it and said thank you and all that. And then it got in my mind. I said, I think somebody must have delivered. It wasn't Avon, but I said, I think somebody must have delivered something here, you know. So when I got a break, when that man, you know, was there, and I said, I had been looking at my Avon book while he took and went and got that. And I said, you know, does anybody bring Avon books here to the office for your break room? And he said, no, they don't. And I said, well, if I had mine, would you mind putting it in the break room? And he said, yeah, I sure will. So not that it'll do anything, but I did. But it took me, I did have one in there, and I was kind of going to come up with some way probably to check on it, but I wasn't real strong about thinking about making sure I had one when I went in the building, which is, you know, my fault. But as soon as I saw that, and it looked like somebody had come in and had dropped something off to her. Now, she didn't exchange money or do anything while they were there, but it looked like somebody come and dropped something off, and that made me think, oh, you better make sure you ask and see if you can leave a book in here, because that was an Avon that they left.
That's great, Carol. And you know, you're right. I think when these chance encounters happen and we realize even sometimes that we're not even as prepared as we want to be. You know, like you said, you want to always make sure that you have those brochures with you or a business card. And I know you and I have talked a little bit about it and several others on the call. Now with the social media center, you also have that as an option. So when you don't have the brochure with you or the business card with you, which of course we all want to have at all times, but on those few chance encounter instances where you're just running in real quick and you may not have that with you, your phone as a social media center is a great option too. So I love that story. That gave a great opportunity to share some different things. Where are some other places that we might have a chance encounter, even if you haven't had one? Where are some places that you could have a chance encounter? We see here there's some kind of little coffee shop. There's a cosmetic shop, or at least the cosmetic department of a cosmetic shop maybe, or at the mall. Where are some other places that you all can think of?
Hair salon.
Hair salon's perfect. That's a great idea. I love to couple hair salons with Avon Cosmetics. Great sales, and they make great representatives. It says my audio is lost. Uh-oh. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
And now,
Okay, something happened and my audio got lost for a minute there.
Did you hear my answer?
I did not. Can you repeat it for me?
Children's daycare.
Absolutely. And you have done a few fundraisers with those as well. So great opportunity.
Yeah, with her old daycare, the new one is a corporate daycare, and they can't do that, but I can leave books,
Gotcha.
and I do.
And I do. That's awesome. I am
Yeah,
trying.
I got to take an order to your teacher tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, Miss Carrie ordered something.
Nice. Well, it's important that we have an easy way of starting these conversations when we have these chance encounters. I know that we've all had situations where we wanted to say something, but maybe we weren't quite sure what to say, or we feel like maybe we missed an opportunity. So tonight we're going to go through some options and talk about what to do when you have these chance encounters. So the first option may be to find common ground and then ask open-ended questions to get her talking. So if you're in a long line at a grocery store, you might say, wow, this grocery line is so long. Who has time for this? And then she's going to respond in agreement, and you could ask another open-ended question to get her talking. How would you rather be spending your time? Or, for example, if you're on the PTA and you sit down, which is the Parent-Teacher Association, for any of you that don't know, and you sit down next to someone that you don't know at the PTA meeting, what might you say to drum up a conversation with that person?
How old is your child? Are they in any activity?
Great ones. Love it. Any other thoughts? And be sure that they are open-ended questions. An open-ended question is a question that leaves it open for them to answer more information than just a yes or a no. So I think your first question was, how old is your child? Of course, that can get them talking. Oh, I have a 7-year-old. Oh, is that a girl or a boy? I mean, you can really build on that. What was the second question?
Are they in any activity?
Are they in any activities? I might rephrase that one to say, what activities is your child involved in?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. That way you get more than just the yes or no answer, because they could just say, well, yeah. I mean, they probably wouldn't. They probably would say, most people are excited about their children, so they'll tell you a little bit more. But you just want to, in all situations, start thinking about it in terms of, oh, did I just ask an open-ended question or not? And then your second option would be to compliment someone. Wow, you look sharp. What do you do? Or
so that our support engineers can walk you through the removal process over the phone.
What is
If
that?
you call us or calling us, we will be forced to disable your.
We had a little extra caller on the line there for a moment. Have you ever started a conversation with a compliment? What kind of conversations have you started, or what was your statement when you started with a compliment? Anybody?
what did you say, Sheila?
I'm sorry. Have you ever started a conversation with someone with a compliment?
Oh, yes.
Okay, what kind of compliment did you give them? What, maybe an example?
Oh, I love that dress or the blouse, or I love that color.
Perfect. And then one of the examples that they gave us was, your dress is really beautiful, like you said. What is the occasion? Then you get them talking about what it is that they're into. You get a little more feel for what they're looking for. And then catch those compliments, especially about Avon products. So you want to wear your Avon clothes, accessories, and makeup so that someone compliments you. I got up this morning and I was thinking about what to wear, and I picked out this, for those of you who can see the webcam, I picked out this top because it is an Avon top. The jewelry's Avon, because I have to practice what I preach, so to speak. So I'm wearing my Avon as well. And when I go out, I try to have some various Avon pieces on, so that people will see that and comment, because they'll take compliments from you. You catch that compliment, and then you can start a conversation right from there. In all conversations, whether they're with people you meet or people that you already know, it's really important to ask those open-ended questions and really get to know their wants and needs. By knowing what's important to the person, you will be able to share how the Avon opportunity can make a difference in their life. Here are some open-ended questions that you could possibly use as conversation started. How is your job going? Tell me about what you do. How do you do it? Managing a family and a career, you must be busy. What do you think is the hardest part of staying home with your kids? If you could change your situation, what would you change? Why do you like to volunteer with the PTA so much? Think of it this way. You want to be interested in every conversation and not interesting. So you want to be listening to what they have to say. So you're asking questions to get them to share additional information. Why do you think that this is so important? Any ideas?
To get them talking.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? How will it make them feel?
Important.
Yes. And if you're building a relationship for them, then they're also going to feel that you care for them, right? So once you ask a good open-ended question, it's important to dig deeper to find out what matters most. We call this listening with more questions. Here are some good follow-up questions that you can use to dig even deeper. If you find out that she really wants to make new friends, you could dig deeper by asking, why is making new friends important to you? If you find out that she wants more flexibility in her day, what would more flexibility in your day mean to you? Or another way of saying that, what would flexibility in your day look like for you? If you find out she wants more money, what would more money mean for your family? What could you do if you had more money? What would $1,000 look like for you? When we have our $1,000 in 90 days with our Kickstart, what are they going to do with that $1,000? When you can put a picture with that statement, it begins to plant seeds in their minds, and you can really get at what it would look like for them so that they have a goal from the very beginning. How about any more? Anything else that you guys could think of, some additional questions that maybe you could ask to dig a little deeper? How would staying at home with your children change your life? If you find out that they want to stay home with their kids, how would that change their life? What would that look like? What opportunities would that afford them? So we're going to have a conversation here. I need 2 volunteers. I need 2 people to just read for me. That's all you have to do. Who can read for me tonight? I need two of you to speak up and lead for me. Now, all you got to do is read the slides.
I'll do it.
All right, who was that?
Paula.
Paula, thank you. Who wants to read with Paula? Paula's going to be Sally. Carol, can you read the part of Sarah maybe for me?
I can if this will put, I've got this message that's coming through that sounds like a Microsoft virus or something, but I can't get a number to call Microsoft and I can't get it to shut up.
Okay, I'll tell you what, and you've also got some noise in that background. Let me see if I can get, how about Anita? Can you do that for us?
I'll mute off.
Okay. Anita, can you read the part of Sarah for us?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Awesome. All right. So, Sally, go ahead. You're going to start with the hi, Sarah, right there.
Hi, Sarah. Happy Friday. I am so glad we could connect for coffee.
Me too. That spin class is awesome. We have so much fun. It is a great stress release.
I'm with you. I feel great after every class. Did I hear you say that you have 3 kids, one of which is in college? I have only one little guy that keeps blinking off and on, and I feel like I can hardly keep my head above water.
Yeah, that's right. I also have a crazy dog, and my 2 boys are on a traveling soccer team. I spend my weekends gruppling them all over the place.
There's a word you don't see every day, right?
I have no idea.
I don't envy you there. What else causes your stress?
Oh gosh, I work from home as a book editor. I spend my days on the computer with very little interaction. I need to connect with a human over the age of 14.
We've heard that one before, haven't we?
I've heard that many times.
I got it. If you could create the life you dreamed about, what would that life look like?
I would have less stress. I would have lots of friends to hang out with, and I would have plenty of money to help pay for my daughter's college and travel. I love experiencing new places.
So what did you guys think about that? How did that sound?
Very good.
That give you an idea of kind of a little flow. And those are perfect things. I mean, did you not hear some of those things that we can definitely relate to in that conversation?
Yes.
That was awesome.
Well, then how does she work Avon into that conversation?
Here we go. We're getting ready to get to here's your next part. So you're going to keep reading for us because you're going to find out and you're going to be able to answer your own question here in just a minute.
Okay.
So now we're going to dig deeper.
So, Sarah, why do you feel being connected and having friends are important for you now?
Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I just did there. Literally, I don't know what I just did there. Hold.
Since my divorce, I have felt so isolated. We had to move to a new area, and I have not felt up to finding new friends.
Sorry, it's not moving because I am stuck in a strange screen. Let me see if I can fix it real quick. Technical difficulties, don't you love them?
Where's your son?
What?
Where's your son?
I know, right? He's not here.
He's your technical expert.
Okay. I totally understand. I am divorced and I felt the same way when I went through it. You mentioned you would love to have more money to help pay for college and travel more. What would it mean to you if you had more money for these things?
Well, first, I would feel relieved that my daughter will not graduate from college with a ton of debt. I don't want her to have that level of stress at such a young age. I'm getting all kinds of stuff too. Also, having more money to travel. I would fulfill my lifelong dream of visiting Europe.
So how can this information help Sally to sell Sarah the Avon opportunity?
Well, we have the scholarship program.
Yep.
And we know someone that's won a scholarship.
Yeah.
Also, you can make money off your sales and by recruiting other people to do the same as you.
Absolutely. All good answers. So R is about recommending the right Avon solution. We will all know when selling the Avon opportunity is the right solution. If you're selling products, it's important to determine what solution is right for the customer based on her needs. We're going to talk about the 3 C's to determining the right Avon solution. We're going to clarify her needs and wants. We're going to communicate the right Avon solution. And then we're going to connect the dots and share how that solution will meet her needs and wants. You can see that you can't do these steps unless you first do what? Get to know her needs and wants, right? So make sure that you spend the time to get to know her before you try to recommend the Avon opportunity. Let's talk about the C and clarify. You might be wondering, why do you need to do this? Didn't you just reveal these in a conversation or the last time you talked with her? Believe it or not, this step is very important. If you clarify her needs and wants before you recommend the solutions, you will make sure that you really understand her needs and wants. You will not assume anything. You'll possibly identify additional needs and wants. You'll make sure that her needs and wants have not changed since the last time that you spoke to her. And above all, she will feel heard. She will know that you heard what she had to say. So once you confirm her needs and wants, you will share the solution and how it will help her. Here we have an example of some verbiage that you can use as a structure for your recommendation. This is just a structure, so obviously your words may be a little more casual. So here's an example, and we're going to go back to our Sally and Sarah, and my screen is correct again, so we should have it a little bit easier this time.
It sounds like you would love to connect with some new people and make some extra money to help pay for your daughter's college and travel. Is that right?
Yes, I would love to do that.
You should join my team as an Avon representative. You can make new friends and be part of a great group of women. The ladies on my team are fabulous. Everyone supports each other and has a lot of fun. You would love them. As a representative for Avon, you can also earn extra money for your daughter's college and for cool trips. You can't help her avoid stress when her graduation, and you can take that dream trip to Europe. Who doesn't want to have fun with friends and make money at the same time?
So once you've recommended the Avon solution, it's important to offer relatable stories that demonstrate your belief. That is the O in grow. It's really important to relate to the person as you build a trusted relationship. By sharing a story or two, you can help her see how the solution has impacted you and others. Stories really illustrate that the solution can make a difference for her. When selling the Avon opportunity, the most important story that you can share is yours. You'll remember in the kickoff module just last week and the week before, we have created your belief. using the 4 chambers of the heart. These are the elements in your story. Use them to share how the Avon opportunity has impacted you and your life in a positive way. When talking to a prospect, make sure you relate to her when you tell your story. You want her to say, wow, you're a lot like me and joining Avon's made a difference in your life, so maybe I'll try it. Remember, if you know someone else whose story relates even more to the prospect, you can share it too. It never hurts to relay more than one story about how the Avon opportunity has changed someone's life. So let's listen to an example of how sharing stories might sound. Here, Sally is sharing stories with Sarah. I totally understand how you feel when you say you need to connect with new friends. When my son went to kindergarten, I was totally lost. My whole life had revolved around him and his needs, and I had very few friends. That's when I found Avon. Avon gives me a reason to connect with new people, gives me something new to talk about beyond my son and his needs. I love it. I've made so many new friends. You know, you also remind me a lot of Suzanne. Suzanne is my sister-in-law. She pulled me aside a few years ago and was interested in learning more about Avon. Every year, Suzanne takes a trip with her girlfriends. My brother always complains because they really can't afford it. Suzanne refuses to give up her girl time, so she was looking for something to help her pay for the trips herself. She found that Avon gave her the opportunity to not only pay for the trips, but also to have more girl time and new friends. I really believe Avon might be the right opportunity for you. Here, Sally is sharing stories with Sarah. Once you talk through the G, the R, and the O, then you're going to want to get to work with the letter W. It's important to always ask your prospect to join your team and then establish the next steps based on how she responds. If you truly get to know her needs, recommend the right Avon solution, and offer relatable stories to demonstrate your belief, you'll be able to confidently ask her to join your team. Make sure that you always ask. That is a very important step. There are many ways that you can ask a prospect to join your team. Take a look at a few of the examples on this slide. It's important that you find the words that are most comfortable to you. What are some ways that you can ask prospects to join your team? What are some things that you may say?
I just used this one today. Your personality would be a great asset to my team.
Nice. Nice. I love this one that they gave in an example. I would love to put you on the path to your dreams. Can we get you started? So if you've spent time and you've learned what their dreams are, and then you say something like that, they're going to be, oh, maybe I should, because you've taken the time to build that trust. So I love these examples. Knowing that you will always ask prospects to join your team at the end of grow conversations, you need to be prepared for every outcome. What will you do if she says yes? What will you do if she says not sure or maybe? And how will you handle it if she presents some obstacles to joining your team? If you hear yes, have a plan to get her started. Remember, first impressions make a real difference. She will be more likely to stick with you if you've had an onboarding plan with clear steps for her to get started. What if she's not sure and says maybe? What do you say when this happens? Think about the next steps you might recommend to further demonstrate your belief in the opportunity. You want to help her see the benefits even more clearly. Maybe you could connect her with a member of your team that is very similar to her. Maybe you could ask her to a team meeting. Any other ideas? If somebody's on the fence and they're not quite sure and they say maybe, but I'm not sure I can, or I'm not sure I'm able to, what kind of responses have you had to that in the past? Oh, maybe somebody says, I know you guys have had this one. Well, I would like to, but I'm not sure I can sell. I'm not sure I would make any money. What's a possible solution you could offer for that? Anybody?
Avon sells itself.
And how does it sell itself, Jane? What's the only thing they have to do?
To get to know their neighbors, but they start with their family and friends and then get referrals, and then go from there as they get more confident to neighbors and other places.
Exactly. And they share the brochure, correct?
Correct. Oh, yes.
Yeah, you got to share the brochure, and you got to talk to a few people. Perhaps you could give them a try it kit and give them a few brochures and an order pad and let them try and see how it goes. Give them some options and maybe see what they feel comfortable with. When you hear an obstacle or an objection, the first thing that you want to do is ask an open-ended question to learn more. Dig deeper to understand why it's an obstacle for them and what's causing it. Once you understand more, you can respond with additional stories of people with similar concerns or how the opportunity could still be the right solution. If the objections are just too strong, it is okay to move on. Continue the relationship, focus on selling the products instead of the Avon opportunity. What should you do if you hear a no? Take the opportunity to get a referral. Maybe the person knows someone who might be interested in starting a business with Avon. Don't forget the person could also be a potential customer. That's why you always want to offer both opportunities. The opportunities to purchase your products and the opportunity for them to earn themselves. Ask her some questions that might lead to helping her conduct a fundraiser. Finally, stay connected. Be sure to connect with the person on social media, get their contact information, and follow up. Why is it important to stay connected? Why do you guys think it's important to stay connected?
You might want to check back with her at a later date, or she might know somebody that she could refer at a later time.
Perfect. That's a great answer. So by preparing for every outcome, you'll ensure that you get the most out of every selling conversation. No matter what the outcome is, it's important that you establish tangible next steps. Based on the person's level of interest, recommend a next step that feels appropriate. So for example, if they have second guessing themselves, you could say something like, well, it feels like you're still mulling this over. Why don't you sleep on it? Think about any potential concerns or questions, and we can connect again in 2 days. Be sure and set that time expectation. By setting an expectation that you will be calling them back in 2 days, it won't come as a surprise when you do it, and your efforts will actually be appreciated. Remember, you're building trust, so if you give them a time frame and then you follow up, they're going to say, oh, this person's for real. Be accommodating. Increase the likelihood of a response by being respecting of their preferred communication style. If they want to be contacted by email and you call them, they may not be so accepting of you. If they want you to call them and you send them a Facebook request, again, maybe not so accept. But so whatever their preferred method of communication, initially use that. Then you will try to connect with them in future ways over time. Try to connect with them on the spot if possible. We talked a little bit earlier about the Social Media Center app on your phone. If you don't have it on your phone yet, we will be talking more about that. But Avon SMC in your app stores, you will find the Avon Social Media Center, and you can put it on your phone. You can then get the person's number, text them out one of the messages, and then keep their phone number and put their name with it. So you'll have the follow-up information, and you'll be able to tell what you sent them. So if you sent them a message that pertains to the Avon opportunity, you'll know that versus a message that may pertain to your e-store and sending them to your e-store. So when you go to follow up with them, you'll have more of a roadmap of where you've been with them and how they responded to you before and what they were interested in. Be sure and highlight a roadmap of next steps. This will show her that it's not your first rodeo, and you are able to offer her valuable experiences based on her level of interest. It's like dipping your toe in the water. Selling the Avon opportunity is not always a one-time event. Studies have shown it typically takes up to 8 contacts before a sale is made. A follow-up phone call, text, or email will keep your business healthy and growing. I do have to tell you this quick story because when I was looking over this information and they said 8 contacts, it made me think about a particular representative. When I was in leadership myself, I called this lady, and she was fine with, she wasn't interested right now. Her response was, I really can't right now. I don't recall exactly what was going on in her life, but now's not a good time. Well, when would you like for me to call you back then? I hear that you still are interested, but when would you like me to call you back? Well, she'd say next month, then next month. We talked monthly, and she always gave me permission. She set the time parameter. I always called her back, and I just wrote it on my calendar. And literally 8 months later, she joined, and she's still with us today. She's actually in it was my upline. You know, she moved up to my upline, but she's still with us today. So it is really true that no doesn't always mean no. No could mean no, not now, or it could mean no forever. So you always want to find out. And if they're willing for you to follow up, make sure that you set that time expectation. Be sure and do the follow-up, and you may see that the results are different in the future because people's lives change. So I did want to share that story with you. So let's hear an example of the W working to identify next steps. It feels like you're still mulling this over. Why don't you sleep on it? Think about any potential concerns or questions, and we'll connect again in 2 days. How would you prefer to be contacted? I prefer text or phone. Fantastic. Let me add you now. When we connect later this week, we can determine if you think it would be worthwhile to grab coffee with Kelsey. She's fantastic and reminds me of you. We could also have you attend our team meeting if you would like that. Great. I will talk to you soon. As you know, all of your effort to identify these next steps will be for naught if you do not follow up. Good follow-up shows respect and professionalism. How do you feel when someone does not follow up or follow through on their commitments? How do you feel when somebody doesn't do what they say they're going to do?
I don't like it at all.
Don't like it at all. And why don't you like it at all? How does it feel for you? How does it make you feel when they don't?
Oh, I get aggravated.
There you go. It's aggravating. It's frustrating, right?
Yep.
So you don't want somebody to think that of you. So if you don't follow up at all, then that's like you're assuming that you're the only thing the buyer thinks about all day, and they'll get back with you and they don't have other things to do. It's very disrespectful, right? Checking in with your
Yes.
oh, go ahead.
No, I just got to say it is disrespectful.
It is. It absolutely is. Checking in with your prospect is not only appreciated, but it's the appropriate way for them to remain top of your mind, and for you to remain top of their mind. Connecting through Twitter when they make a request for you to text them. Again, if they're clear on their expectations of how they want you to reach out to them, and you do the exact opposite, disrespectful, right? It's like you're not listening to them, you're not connecting with them. When you're not offering anything of value, that's another follow-up fail. People are busy. Don't waste their time. Have something valuable to offer. If they think you're just wasting their time, then they're not interested, right? Be sure that you adjust your plan. Everyone's different. They want different things for different reasons at different times. Having a plan is good, but having only one plan can sometimes steer you wrong. Consider creative ideas for the individual that would be most beneficial to the person. You can even ask them if you aren't making any progress in contacting them. Is there a different method that they would like you to contact them? What's the worst thing that can happen at that point? They keep ignoring you, right? And then let's say you've got those people, and I know we've all had this happen, but you have those people that you've just followed up and you've followed up and you've followed up, right? And you don't get them and you haven't heard anything and they haven't said, not now, they haven't responded in any way. What do you do with those? At what point do you just say, are you in? Are you out? What do you guys think about that? Do you guys have a plan?
Next. The answer to that was next.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what. Sometimes you have to just say. You can literally put it out there. Hey, I know at one time you were interested, but I haven't been able to reach you, so I'm just curious. Can you let me know if you're still interested, or would you? I don't want to keep bothering you if you're not interested. Cut your losses and move on and say next, because that's an opportunity for you to spend more time with someone else. That was a perfect answer. I think that was Carol. Was that you, Carol?
Yes.
I thought so. After practicing the Grow conversations with multiple people, sit back and reflect on your progress. Here are some telltale signs that you are rocking it. And I have no doubts that you guys are going to be very natural at this. You're going to begin to feel that it's natural. You're going to feel that it's more sincere and less of just a sales tactic. Your prospect will be at ease. You won't see them trying to squirm away from you, so to speak. They'll be leaning in, nodding, showing their agreement. You will be able to hold a 15-minute conversation with somebody because you are making that conversation about them and what they've shared with you. They'll be eager to set up next steps and will appreciate your follow-up. And of course, don't forget, it is okay to fake it until you make it. I love that one. I am going to attempt to move this screen for us and get to your application guide so you can see it bigger than we had it this last time. So give me just a moment. I'm in slideshow. There we go. There's the one I want. Are you seeing the application guide now? Somebody tell me you can see the application guide.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So this week's application guide is a little bit more involved than the last one. So we're going to go quickly through here and just kind of show you what you're going to be doing and let you ask any questions if there's any questions about actually filling this one out. Remember, for those of you that I'm meeting with for one-on-ones this week, I need them at least 30 minutes ahead of time. And then for those of you who I'm meeting with next week, if you can get them to me the day before is good there. I know this first week it's a little harder, especially for those of you who I talk to early in the morning. I can't expect you to get it to me 24 hours in advance when you haven't even had long enough to process it. So that's why the difference is there. But you're basically going to go through the same steps that we just went through on the slides and plan some starter conversations for yourself. What would your conversation starters be? Some conversation starters be for these particular situations. So you'll fill that out there. Then you'll go down and add some additional open-ended questions. And remember, those are the ones that would not be yes or no questions, but questions where they would expand on the information that they've already provided. Then you get into what are some additional needs that you might want to uncover? What are some additional needs that you hear people say about when they come to Avon? What are they looking for? And then some additional questions. Then you're going to get into the part where you're going to think about a past recruiting conversation and fill in the appropriate information as far as the need and the benefits and how that could go. And then, oh, I think my screen skipped. There we go. Here we go. Then you're going to offer a relatable story to demonstrate your belief. Here's the scenario that they've given you and what you would say to them, going back to your belief from the kickoff application guide and your story. How would you share that story as it relates to this particular instance? Then you're going to write down a couple of options for how you might ask someone to join. And if she's not sure the Avon opportunity is right for her, some things that you might say there. And don't miss this little step here. Be prepared to role play during our one-on-one. We are going to do a little role plays together. We can use examples that you have had in the past if you want, or I have some examples that we can use there as well. And then who will you practice your conversation selling with over the next 2 weeks? Pretty straightforward, right? Any questions on that one? Any questions? And I have no idea when I asked it to take us back to the, when I asked it to take us back where we left off, it took us back to the beginning. So we're going to just scroll right through here, but we're basically at the end. Yeah, it's wanting to freeze up on me. Any other questions on putting that application, guys, together?
I don't have a question on that, Sheila, but this is Donna. Today, about wearing the products. Some of them on here know I wear a lot of the products, especially the jewelry. But my mother had surgery this afternoon, and I have that everlasting sterling silver ring on that the stone moves in. I had it on today, and I was sitting there hemming a quilt because I also quilt. And I took one with me to hem, and the lady said, I don't know, I can't keep my eye off the ring or the quilt. I don't know which one's more prettier. They're both gorgeous. So anyway, I got to talking to her, and she said, I would love one of your cards or your name for I can get in contact with you. and I gave her one of my cards, and I have stapled my Avon card and on some of them my Avon card and my quilting card together.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave her one of those, and she said, "So I can call you for either one?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." So when I got home tonight, I had a text from her wanting to know when I could get her an Avon book.
Wow, that is such a great success story, especially since we just talked about chance encounters. What more kind of chance encounter could we have had, right?
That's
awesome.
true.
That is awesome. And all by doing exactly what we talked about tonight. You were wearing the jewelry, you had the conversation, you were prepared. All the pieces were there in place. That's an awesome story. Remember too, when you have these success stories, share them on our Facebook page, because you may think that everybody knows what you know, or everybody's tried what you've tried, but there are so many different angles to approach so many different things, and the sharing just makes all of us stronger. So I think I can speak for everyone when I say we all need new and fresh and different ideas, and sometimes it's nothing more than bringing back an old idea. So please continue to share. You guys are doing a great job of that so far, and I love hearing the success stories. Do you remember our hot topic question that brought me all to tears last week in the collaboration call? Well, we're going to do it again this week. This question, remember, is for our next Friday call, our collaboration call at the end. Who is the most interesting person you know, and why? You don't necessarily have to worry about writing that down. If you want to, that's great, but I will post it on our Facebook page for you as well. So you will have that. And we have made it to the last slide, guys. We did it in just over an hour, even with the technical difficulties. So we did pretty well. 4 simple steps. We're going to grow. So you want to memorize each one of these steps, because you want to make sure that you are doing each one of these steps each and every sales opportunity that comes your way. Get to know the person and her needs. Recommend the right Avon solution. Offer those relatable stories that demonstrate your belief. And then work to establish the next steps. I really appreciate you all being on tonight. Jane, I did see your text come through, and I will answer that shortly. So I appreciate you all being on tonight. If you have any other questions, we'll leave it open for a couple minutes to take those. Otherwise, have a great night, and I will see you on your one-on-ones this week and next, or feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll call you on Thursday when I get through with my dentist appointment.
All righty.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and close it out.
Bye, Sheila.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.